on the state of Georgia right now. President Trump in the Peach State over the weekend. He meant to campaign in the hotly contested Senate race, but instead challenging the state's governor over election results. And joining us this morning more to talk about that is former state Senate President Mike Haridopolos. Always good to see you, my friend. How are you?
Very well, Amy. Good morning.
Good morning to you. So all eyes on Georgia, right? The president's team claiming fraud in that state, even though the governor says, look, we're very confident that everything is fine. They've already certified the results there. Is there any chance that this is going to get overturned?
Well, I think what's been most interesting in the development over the weekend is this incredible video that came out that showed that in the late hours in Atlanta, that some boxes literally came out from under the desk after they asked the poll watchers to leave. Again, we don't know exactly what's going on, but this is, again, what we talked about last week, Amy, the role of the press. Just find out what the information is, because too many people, I think almost 50% of the people, according to the latest polling, have questions about this campaign. And the best thing we can do is so that Joe Biden, if he's truly elected, as most people anticipate on January 20th, have confidence in the election result. We should investigate these things. Again, I don't know if it's nefarious or not, but I think it's worthy of investigation. And that video actually prompted Governor Kemp from Georgia to say, let's take a second look at the signature verification to make sure everything's on the up and up. But really comes down to in Georgia is the two Senate races. That will decide the direction of the United States Senate, whether it be on the coronavirus bill that you're talking about this morning, or in the future, what direction we take will probably depend on what happens in those two U.S. Senate races coming in early January.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the video, because Georgia election officials saying nothing nefarious was going on there. But again, they do say they want to take a closer look at it. And the president's legal team also citing the video showing the poll workers, pulling the suitcase out. But if that turns out to be nothing, Mike, which, Fox News saying no wrongdoing found. If it turns out to be nothing, is that it? Is it over?
Well, I think the difference will only be that, again, what's happening also in Pennsylvania is that the Justice Alito, one of the, you might remember, 9 members of the United States Supreme Court, says, let's take a look at the Pennsylvania election law. I think what we're going to see from President Trump, as you can imagine with all the allegations out there, is going to take it to the final hill, which is the U.S. Supreme Court, to look at some of these issues. But I think the good thing for the country is that, one, Joe Biden, if he's truly elected, as we anticipate, is forming his cabinet. He named his Health and Human Services Secretary yesterday. And if the president wants to go through the issue with challenging not just in Georgia, but Pennsylvania, he has the right to do that. But democracy will go on, whether it be here in Florida or around the country. And so I anticipate him exhausting every legal mechanism, as the Miss Abrams did when she ran for governor 2 years ago in Georgia. I expect the same from the president. But the good news is the government goes on. We go on as usual until January 20th.
And just real quick, in case people are not understanding, why does Georgia have 2 Senate races that are still not decided, and what's going on with that?
Yeah, great question, Amy. In Georgia, they have a unique election process. If no one gets 50% of the vote, there's a runoff to decide who wins the race. And this has actually been very common in the last few election cycles. So when you have multiple Republicans, multiple Democrats running, it's really hard for one candidate to get 50%. And so, like in the state of Louisiana, when you don't get 50%, they have a runoff election after the general election to decide the winner. And so on January 5th, you'll see Georgia will run their 2 Senate races, because both of those, the winner did not get 50%. I think in both cases, in one case it was almost 50%, and another case it was a little bit lower because there's so many candidates in the field. So that's a unique election law in Georgia, where the top 2 go to a runoff, and that's why we always see these late elections coming in Georgia, because of the unique nature, unlike here in Florida.
Right, and of course the results will have a major impact on the balance of power in the U.S. Senate, so a lot of eyes on that race. Always good to see you, former state Senate President Mike Haridopolos. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, and have a great morning.
You too.